Welcome to the Mindfulness of Singing, and I'm Denise, your sassy, spunky scientist.
And I'm Tony, your bubbly, big-hearted flower child.
Our podcast features practical tips and tools for a journey of transformation using the healing power of your voice.
Each podcast, we will delve into the mind, body, and spirit connection by interviewing inspirational guests, sharing personal stories, and discussing the most recent scientific research.
Tune in and join our community of mindful singers.
Good morning, Denise. We've already said good morning. And
Look
here we
at us.
are live together.
We're
Woo!
together. It's hard to believe.
I know, it seems strange.
Well, we've been together, but we've
We've
not been together on a podcast.
So
it's so great not to have to worry about all the little mechanical, technical,
I know you're here.
Wi-Fi
Are you there?
things
Are
that
we
can
good?
go wrong. Tony's Wi-Fi is not good.
It's not.
So sometimes, I'm like, wish we were just in the same room.
So
And
it's
we
strange.
are.
And we are so delighted to have Elise Besler as our guest this morning for our first ever podcast in the same room. And she is from the Vocal Warrior. Her website is thevocalwarrior.com. And you'll want to check her out because there's a lot of cool things on there. She's from Halifax, Canada. And she is a professionally trained singer, but her mission is to spread radical voice love to singers, speakers, and voice confidence seekers. That's could make a little rhyme out of that. That's nice. She offers one-on-one voice coaching. She offers group voice coaching, Vocal Warrior retreats, Vocal Warrior Collective online, and voice membership programs for women. She's released 2 albums of original music since her 40th birthday and has a kind of cool story behind that. And she's just a dynamic lady who's making a difference in Canada and around the world, inspiring singers. And I can't wait to meet her.
Yep, we're excited.
Let's bring her on.
Okay. Hi, Elise. How are you today?
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. So nice to meet you and to have you on our podcast this morning. We were just chatting about what a dynamic woman you are. And of course, I have many questions to ask. And so the first one that comes to mind is that you celebrated in a very unique way a special birthday. I heard that on a podcast story. So I'm telling you that because Denise is planning for some things she wants to do for a special birthday. So tell us what happened.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm turning 45 this year. And 5 years ago, it was January 1st, 2016. My husband said it was going to be my 40th birthday that year. And he said, are we going to have a big party? We're going to have a big party. You're turning 40. And I was like, yes. And it's going to be a CD release because I had released an album back in Alberta, western side of the country. I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so I'm on the East Coast now. But when I was 21-ish, I had released my first album, and then I poured myself into coaching other singers and helping other people realize their dreams. And there was always this part of me that was like, oof, like I need to do this again. And so it felt really bold at the time, because there's so many misconceptions about the music industry, and once you're older, you're washed up. There's no space for you, and so I said that, and he looked at me and said, well, I guess we better get recording. And we did. We did an EP. We did an EP, and the weekend of my 40th birthday, I released an album, and after 18 years, yes.
Wow, that's amazing. And so I'm maybe a little behind. So tell me, what is your genre? What do you sing?
Well, I'm a singer. I call myself a soulful singer-songwriter. So, I write my own music. Some of it has a little bit of a bluesy vibe. Some of it has, more of a sort of traditional singer-songwriter vibe. But I really do love that kind of soulful
Me too. So now I'm going to now I'm going to go on to iTunes and look for you, because if you had said opera and all of the top 40 arias are on that CD, I would have been like, well, okay, good for you. I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
So.
It's
very subtle about her opinions about.
No, I mean, with classically trained I am, but I don't want to I don't want to be in my car listening to sad arias about sopranos who have lost their whatever and are about to die. That's not good listening music. I want to listen to something soulful or popish or something that's up, like, party music. In fact, I have a little listening thing on my thing that's like party music. So you're never too old to party in your car.
And never too old to create. So I was impressed.
That's amazing.
So where can people purchase this CD? And you actually have two. Did you do another one since then, or was that the other one you referenced?
So Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all of the places. And for streaming, and I think, iTunes you can purchase, if people even still do that. As a consumer, I love streaming, but as an artist, I'm like,
I know.
Brutal. 0.003 cents per stream or whatever
it's really brutal.
Yeah. But so 2 years after that, that was the beginning of sort of I was scratching an itch that I had. And I had a few bucket list, experiences. I played a club here in town with that first release that I had always wanted to play. It was really exciting, and then I wanted to keep going. And I was nominated for a regional music award with the first release on my 40th birthday, and it just was such a what? How is this even happening, right? This was something I did just as a thing for my birthday. And I had connected with a woman, a regional producer, and she's badass. Her name's Erin Costello. Check out her music. She is so cool. And I wanted her to produce my album. And so this next album, which was 2018, 2 years later, I recorded it in a big studio and, sort of farmed it out to have somebody else mix it, and hired a band to come in and play. And so, there's actually two available on Spotify, and the second one is Truth. The first one's called Lean In. The second one is Truth, and they're both there for your listening pleasure.
Oh, well, love it. Gonna listen to it.
Yes, awesome. Indeed. So, your journey, I listened to your first inaugural podcast where you shared your story, and I was very impressed with how you dealt with feeling like you couldn't own your own space. And I wondered why you're called the Stage Fright Whisperer, because you have conquered some battles yourself. And so catch our listeners up and tell briefly your story and your journey and how you became the bold woman who is the Stage Fright Whisperer.
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
Yes. That's such a great question. And where do I begin? It begins with my life, as a child, as a painfully shy child. Painfully shy. Like I always say, hid behind my mama's legs, kind of shy. I was afraid to open my mouth. I was a perfectionist, I think, by nature. I wouldn't say anything until I could say it perfectly. So I was really holding my truth back a lot when I was a young girl. And then I discovered theater. I discovered music, and I discovered that camaraderie of being in connection with like-minded kids that were doing the same thing. And just this, it was almost like unleashing a dragon, and I felt so free when I was singing on stage, and it was so powerful for me. But as I shared in that story, there was always this sort of a little bit of a fear for myself. And I recognized that I couldn't actually truly own my voice until I owned my entire story. And growing up as a big kid, as a fat kid, as I say in the podcast, there was always this sort of fear of I wouldn't know when I walked into a room or even on stage, I wouldn't know how I was going to be received. So there was always this sort of fear of somebody saying something or somebody making fun. And so even though there was this juxtaposition of me being on stage and feeling really free and feeling supported in that environment, I was also fearful. I was also fearful of showing up because I wasn't sure. And so I, when I was off stage, I would like turn my light down. And, come to discover when working with clients that even though it may not be that specific experience, that so many of us, especially women, are holding our tongue behind our teeth and not speaking our truth. And so that shifts, it changes the way we show up as performers, as singers, but also just in our lives, in our truth speaking, in our partnerships, in our friendships, especially with other women, right? And so the work that I do is encompassing both vocal technique and, voice pedagogy, but also like, how do we learn to speak up for ourselves, and how do we learn to set boundaries in a healthy way and with integrity so that we don't feel like we're giving something up? And I've discovered that all of this, all of this sort of, what would you call it? Like just like a wonderful melting pot of stuff that I do has really helped a lot of my clients be able to finally just step up to the mic, shed all of the, or at least put to the side for a moment, all of the things that might hold their voices back. And I call myself the vocal warrior. I call my clients vocal warriors. I think we're all vocal warriors because we all have to continually show up for ourselves. And we have to make that choice, right? We have to make that choice. And sometimes it is scary, but we do it anyway. So I don't know if I sort of just rambled on there, but
that was beautiful.
No, I think that's great. So let me ask you something. So when you say vocal warrior, my mind goes to a lot of places. When you say vocal warrior, so define that. Like, what would be, if you were going to bullet points, if you were going to say a vocal warrior is : bullet, 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 bullet. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think again, just to reiterate that idea of like warriors, when they go to battle, they are a little bit afraid, but they go anyway, and they continually show up. They continually show up for their communities. So first and foremost, a vocal warrior is someone who continually shows up for themselves, continually shows up for their truth, right? For that to come out of themselves. And then a vocal warrior is also, somebody who's continually doing the work, right? Like calling in the support that they need, whether it be vocal technique or whether it be learning how to set boundaries and that sort of thing. And then vocal warriors are also in community, like they're in community and they support and lift each other up. And they also trust what comes out of their mouths implicitly. So that's the piece, right? We trust what we say, what we do, what we sing, because we have to. Like we have to sing and speak our truth. So I would say those are the main points.
I love that. I think that's amazing.
It is. It's great, and it leads me into two perfect questions for that. And one is, you created the Vocal Warrior Affirmation deck. Yes. Tell us about that. And is that something people can purchase?
I have a couple of decks left. So if somebody wanted to, I don't have them on my website anymore.
You happen to have it handy?
If I do, I actually have them here. They're sitting right on my piano. When I work, of course, everyone's working online right now. When I'm working with my clients, we often pull a card before we sing, and just to see sort of, it's kind of like you just call, what do I need to hear right now? And there's these affirmations that are
so pull one for our listeners.
Okay, I'm gonna pull one. I'm gonna shuffle them now. I have a couple of friends who are like in the woo world. Which one of you? Okay, yes, perfect. I know there's a woo sister here on the call.
There you go for it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with woo.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I just struggle with it. That's all.
So there's 52 of them, and whatever shows up, we work with. So this one is, I sing for those who cannot yet share their song.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And so that's an affirmation for ourselves.
I don't think that's woo-woo. If you pulled it up and said, I sing for the angel that's standing behind me, crowning me queen or whatever, I'd have been like, yeah, that's a little woo-woo. But that's not woo-woo. That's great. I love that.
I also love this one. It's I love my voice without conditions.
Oh, that's beautiful. Don't
That's
we all need that?
amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And so you created these, and what was the inspiration to create these? What was the story behind that?
I think that, my clients call me the Stage Fright Whisperer, but they also call me like a voice cheerleader. And I think that I always, this has always lived, like these have always lived inside of me. Because it's what I share with my clients every day, or some of these are actually their own affirmations that we've done through their own work. They're not all from me. Some of them have come from my clients. And I think it was beginning of the pandemic last year. And I thought, who needs affirmation right now? Everybody.
World.
Or at least in my world, people were needing it. And I just put a call out on Instagram. I said, if I did these up, would anybody want them? And the answer was like resounding. And the first run sold out within like a week.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Congratulations.
And so I did a second one. Yeah. So it's just a really special way. And I think a lot of voice teachers have purchased them. I've had like a lot of artists and singers have purchased them, but a lot of voice teachers have purchased them and they use them.
Yes, for students.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where can surely you're going to do a second run. Where can people purchase them?
Are you gonna print some more?
So I did print some more, and I do have some. And so folks can reach out to me via
I'm
my
buying
website.
it.
There you
Yeah.
go. Me too. So, and how do they reach out? Give a shout out. Don't be shy.
Just the contact form, and I can do like a private invoice. I just don't, because I only have a few decks left. I didn't put them when I revamped my website. I didn't put them up there. But yeah, they're still available. They are still available.
And you can find her at thevocalwarrior.com. And
right.
she also has a Vocal Warrior community and a sold out program. She's starting another one. But I also noticed that you have retreats. Do you have anything coming up in your retreat?
So just a shout out to the Vocal Warrior Collective, ladies. We just started 2 months ago, and that is a beautiful group of women who gather together and do the Vocal Warrior voice work together in a group over Zoom. Just wanted to shout those ladies out because they are just everything to me, and I love all of my clients, and I love
Go Vocal Warrior ladies. We shout out too.
I do love hosting a retreat, and just in conversation right now with a dear friend and actually my business coach, Becky Keene, that I worked with for many, many years. And we are well, I don't want to give too much information because we haven't actually finished the planning, but 2 words, Hawaii.
That's enough. That one is
Okay, one word.
Word.
Yeah.
So details to come soon.
Yeah, same room for us in the backyard because we'll pitch a tent if we have to. We'll just come and sleep in a tent somewhere.
Rest assured, it will be beautiful and powerful. And if you've never been to Hawaii, I went a couple of years ago.
I've been.
Oh, it's just and it's lovely. I mean, one can go down to Florida, which I've done too, and it's lovely and it's warm and it's beachy and all that. But there's something really magical about those islands that, it lives in my bones still. So I've just been trying to get back there ever since. So why not?
Right. Yeah.
Why not host something there? Yeah.
Well,
perfect.
It sounds like you certainly haven't let COVID slow you down in your creativity or your initiative. And so kudos to you. And Denise, do you have any other questions? I've kind of hogged the show on questions as I tend to do.
I don't. I just think what you're doing is amazing and it's really important work. And I wish I'd known you when I was young and really struggling with, performance anxiety. I still have a little of that, but not like I did when I was younger. So wish I'd known you then.
Well, I will say this. Most of my clients are Gen X women. So
there you go.
Put that out there.
Yep. I'm just Tony and I are both just like on the end of that. We're the older of the Gen X folks, so we're in that boat. We missed the baby boomers. So yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for inspiring vocal warriors across Canada and hopefully now across the States and maybe around the globe. So all you vocal warriors rise up. We certainly agree with you too that in some of my getting to know you this morning about the voice as a healing tool for all of us. And it doesn't have to be for just for professional singers to raise your own vibration. So
Yeah, that's a chapter in our upcoming book.
So yeah,
Beautiful.
The voice is healing. Yeah.
We shout you out. So thank you for joining us. You can find her at thevocalwarrior.com. And thank you for being our only guest we've ever been able to interview sitting side by side. So
I feel so honest. I feel so honored.
And that too.
Thank goodness for science, right?
That's
Just
right.
bringing us together again. Ooh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Elise.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. We are very grateful that you joined us today.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe, write a review, share it with a friend.